Joshua Williamson, Daniel Samper, Jack Herbert, Giuseppe Camuncoli, Cam Smith, and Rafa Sandoval birth the new DC universe as Nightwing battles the Great Darkness head-on while his friends and family race to stabilize the Infinite Earths and save all of reality. Joshua Williamson concludes the Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths event in probably the most subdued, surprising way possible a Crisis event can be, utilizing the Crisis event not to reboot or restart anything, but instead push it forward and push the DCU forward as we know it, expanding it greatly thanks to the addition of the Infinite Earths and pushing the new young heroes to the forefront in a really fun and interesting way, situating Nightwing, who when you think about it is really the first proper legacy hero, into a role that leads the new heroes into the new frontier. Williamson really hits home his meta-narrative of a new legacy character taking over, but also the rich history and continuity also mattering and being part of those new legacies and informing them. It goes against what most people I assumed thought would happen with crises being things that bring in full reboots, and I'm sure many thought that was what was happening here, or just the younger heroes will be the sole heroes for a while and the Justice League would stay dead, but that's not the case at all. The teasers for what's coming in 2023 is what's really exciting me, especially Waller's new Suicide Squad and mission to wipe out all metahumans, something we saw a piece of in Future State and what a running story in 5G was going to be, which again, nothing in comics is ever truly just discarded or deleted, just reorganized and retooled. Daniel Samper, Jack Herbert, Giuseppe Camuncoli, Cam Smith, and Rafa Sandoval paint the final battle of the DCU with some brilliant action sequences and very cool pulls from the past, especially with Dick's inner struggle with the darkness, adopting a very classical 1980s look for the younger Robin's version of the character akin to when he was in the Titans. Daniel Samper's double-page spreads as well throughout the issue were just something else to behold, and just the amount of detail and action he can just cram into a page is just amazing, and the page where Black Adam gives his power to everyone else is just spectacular to behold. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths issue 7 was a brilliantly subdued yet still grand ending to DC's newest Crisis level event, upending the usual rules for a universe-changing Crisis to create something epic and character and lore rich. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths issue 7 finds Nightwing descending into a dark void, remembering how he thought they operate in the dark, but it begins in the light. He knows after his parents died, he felt lost in the dark, as Slade tells him the darkness never goes away and they can light some candles and make some hopeful speeches, but the dark will always win out, and that's the world's true legacy. And while Pryor was a real loon, the darkness he made lives on, and it's got Nightwing as well now, stripping him of all he has become. As the war at the Hall of Justice continues, Dick, now reverted to his younger Robin self, is confronted by Slade, who tells him that it's always going to come down to this between them. He hopes Dick knows that Batman and the Justice League have made a comeback outside, but it's all for nothing, and while it was a nice try on the hero's part, it won't work, since even if Deathstroke dies, the Great Darkness will find a new home in someone else. Dick asks why he did this, since it's so unlike Slade, and this feels like Pryor is still in control, and Slade knows at first he still was, but he made a good argument, and the world needs to die since the world has hurt his children so many times. Dick thinks that he could have just been there for them as their father and actually been a good dad, causing Slade to attack, claiming that he was there and he's the one who brought the hurt onto them, and he is sick of being something that he is not. Dick warns him that they are playing with something bigger than either of them, and Slade is aware, and it's why he's shutting it all down, thinking of this as a mercy killing and it will be his legacy. As the monstrous Slade rampages through the heroes at the Hall of Justice, Mr. Terrific tells the heroes Pryor's thoughtlessness has doomed them all. Batgirl knows that they have a multi-front fight ahead of them with Slade and the Dark Army and now the out-of-control universes. Superman knows that it will take them all together to save everything as Robin returns with the Justice League Incarnate, revealing to Superman that Dr. Light is connected to the multiverse the same way Pryor is connected to the Great Darkness, so her powers can illuminate the darkness and save them. Mr. Terrific tells her they have someone already racing to do that as the Flash family race through the Speed Force to repair the connections between between their multiverse and the infinite Earths. Barry knows that they will need a miracle to stabilize them and save them from being lost once more, since he's done losing. Dr. Light meanwhile leaves to find the Flashes in the Speed Force as Mr. Terrific tries to find a way to fight Slade and his Dark Army, since if anyone gets too close to them, they become possessed now. Black Adam attacks, knowing that this is his sacrifice to make and he should have listened to Darkseid when he warned him, but he's been blind to so much since the heroes still saved him when he betrayed them. He smashes Slade with his lightning, imbuing the other heroes on the battlefield with his power as Slade is freed from the darkness thanks to Adam's power. Thanks to the power, the heroes are able to beat down the Dark Army and free the villains. Slade says that he was freed from Pariah's darkness, but it found a new home in that of Nightwing, who is now fighting the darkness all on his own inside of himself, but it's too late as everything will be swallowed by the darkness soon. Adam tackles Slade down as the speedsters are met by Dr. Light in the Speed Force. She tells Barry that they need to join the Speed Force with her light powers, since the Speed Force merged with the creation's light is stronger than that of the Dark Army's power. Dr. Light tells the heroes that while Pariah saw what the Monitor gave him as a curse, she sees what the Monitor gave her as a blessing, and Pariah and the others failed to save the infinite Earths because they wanted to control and perfect them. Perfection is boring and the multiverse needs to be free to be infinite. Dr. Light and the Flashes managed to stabilize the infinite Earths, allowing them to survive along with their own Earth as the Dark Army disappear and the heroes who were missing are returned to Earth. Slade is surprised with Black Adam since he knows the kids aren't worth the time, as Nightwing knows that he needs to let the darkness in and let it take it on himself. Black Adam tells Slade that he won't protect or fight alongside the young heroes, but he would die with them. Slade finds that quite touching, but they must stop the children from following in their footsteps as Nightwing regains control of his body, attacking Slade and telling him they aren't following in anyone's footsteps, they all walk together no matter what the world or generation, since they all embrace their history alongside the new, and they use that to bring hope to everyone. Nightwing attacks Slade, who asks why the heroes don't see it the way he sees it, since he doesn't want what happened to his children to happen to anyone else, and he would rather the world burn instead. His daughter Rose appears, telling her father that he has done enough and now he needs to get help. Slade breaks down and allows his daughter to help him as later on the red skies disappear above the earth and the sun begins shining again. As families of heroes reunite, Dr. Light explores her powers within the multiverse and the Justice League Incarnate keep an eye on it. While the Quintessence are reformed, Darkseid returns to Apocalypse and Lex Luthor begins working on his new armor. Deathstroke meanwhile is ravaged by the darkness, but thankfully the Justice League's machines are holding off the darkness. However, someone sneaks into his room and disarms the device, allowing Slade to feel the darkness and its pain once again. Zatanna meanwhile tells the heroes that the Great Darkness continues to rest and was unconcerned with them, meaning Pariah's machine allowed him to tap into only a fraction of its true power. Hal realizes that Pariah never fully connected to the darkness and it was all in his head, as Flash tells Hawkgirl that they can't tell the world anything since they will just believe the Great Darkness did it, and if that helps them then so be it. Barry leaves to check on the multiverse with Wallace as Hal decides he's going to stay on Earth for a little while since it's been too long since he's been there, wanting to help Roy and Dinah with Oliver's death, but he'll only help if they ask for it. Barry and Hal watch the young heroes help fix the Hall of Justice, as Hal knows that when they took up the mantles of Jay and Alan, they were the new kids too, however they were never this young. Knowing the brave and the bold was nice while it lasted. Barry asks when Hal is going to start a family of his own, but Hal knows he's got a family bigger than anyone else's as he reunites with the Green Lantern Corps. Above the hall, Black Adam is met by the Supermen, who thank him for helping when he did. Adam doesn't care if they doubt him since he isn't one of them, but the world was in danger and he used his power to save it. He warns the heroes that there will be war if any of them get in his way again, and he tells Clark that at least his son didn't die, unlike him. John doesn't know if that's a compliment or not, but Clark knows Adam and knows that it is definitely a compliment. Nightwing meanwhile finds the candle he swore his oath on all those years ago to Batman, as the Dark Knight finds him, impressed that he actually kept it. Nightwing says that he never really thought Bruce was gone, but others did, so he made a speech to remind his friends and family to keep a light on for them, and the candles made them feel safe, just like how this candle made him feel safe when he took the vow. Batman breaks the candle though, appreciating Dick for keeping the candle, but after he put on the cape and cowl, he was alone in the streets, and it was only him against the darkness that tried to drown him, but the candle was never the light in the dark for him, it was Dick Dick, and the heroes never needed candles or speeches, they only needed Nightwing. Bruce is proud of Dick and what he has become, and they will rebuild the Hall of Justice to be a home for all heroes. But it's time for a change, since now there is no Justice League, since after what happened, there needs to be more than just new members, and it's time that the League was rethought. Bruce knows that if anyone's going to be leading them into the future, it's going to be Dick. Dick wants to have a think about it as Oracle tells them that Two-Face is on the loose. The dynamic duo head off as Dick tells Bruce that he's got some ideas for the future and for the Justice League. Sometime later, as Superman fights Lex, Failsafe takes down Batman and the Devil Nezza possesses Robin, a shadowy person tells a group of people on some computer screens that time and space is a mess, but they all only care about what happens to their people on their world, and they must do something about it. The people wonder who this person is talking of, since they have been ignoring and rebelling against the light, and only now do they decide to actually do something. The person says that they originally wanted to work with the heroes, since there are great dangers coming and they will need them, but there is no more Justice League and everything is now chaotic and disorganized because of it. The person reveals that they have imprisoned all of the heroes to prevent them from interfering, and now that they have beat even death, that's a step too far, so something must be done to ensure humanity's survival against the metahumans. Beings on the screen reject the person's proposal, angering the person, but they are quick to shut them down, knowing that their scope was too narrow, so now they give them full permission to use every resource they have to fully eradicate the metahumans from their world. The person, revealed to be Amanda Waller and her new Suicide Squad, are glad with their decision, itching to get to work.